evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Inside Texas. I am Jeff Michaels, and then right below me over there on the screen, that would be Mitch, the Madman Thames, over there. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. And look at that beautiful little logo that comes up there. Isn't it nice?
There you go. That's nice.
Isn't that nice?
That is.
Man, I almost look the same now as I do in the picture.
Almost. All right. Almost.
Yeah. After I had that surgery, I look a lot better. Facial surgery. Anyway, by the way, tonight's show is brought to you by the Medical Arts Clinic. There you go. Look at that. Medical Arts Clinic. Those fine folks over there, they do a great job. My doctor doing things. Terry is over there, good friends of mine, but helping me out with all my health problems. So the Medical Arts Clinics, they're the guys. They're the guys. So make sure you go and see them or call them today. Medical Arts Clinic, great sponsor of Gulf Coast One Radio and in Inside Texas. Now, if you guys want to have some fun, and I know Mitch is always wanting to have fun.
Man, I'm in.
You're in? Look at that.
I'm in. I'm into karaoke. Of course, it'll clear the room.
Well, that's what we're looking for. We're looking to clear the room.
If you ever get there and you want somebody to sing really, really, really bad, that's me.
Yeah. That's you?
That's me.
Okay. Well, we got more of those than we do good singers, so you need to come over. So karaoke night, we do it Thursday nights, karaoke and trivia, by the way. Thursday nights from 7 to 9:30 at the La Casona. It's not the La Carsona, it's the La Casona, right there on Highway 60 here in Bay City and Avenue F. Yeah, it's right down the road. So come and check us out. We have a lot of fun. Plus, we give away free margaritas. Free margaritas. Sure. And let me tell you what, Jesus is the manager over there.
Any chance I could get a discount on one of those free margaritas?
Sure. I'll get the manager to pay you $5 to drink a margarita. How about that? You hear that, Jesus? Jesus loves me.
Nice. I bet.
Yeah. And everybody that comes right at 6:59 gets $1 trillion worth of free food.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
$1 trillion. Now, is that a Musk trillion? Is that a federal government trillion or
That's a federal government trillion.
Trillion. Okay.
That and about $1.99 will get you nothing.
I like it. I like it.
And then so come on over.
Chips and salsa, right?
Chips and salsa. That's right. Thursday night, 7 o'clock to 9:30. A lot of fun. Singing plus trivia. I sing once in a while. I had friends come by last week. They're bringing a big group this week. And I heard my friend, the Millburgers, are coming back over there again that used to hang out with us over there. So they're going to come out and have a good time. We did it out in the patio last week. Sometimes we do it inside, but it's supposed to be beautiful tomorrow night, Thursday night. So we're going to be doing it out in the patio again. It's a lot of fun. 3-pound crawfish, corn and potato specials as well. They got great crawfish over there, so come check it out. All right. And last but not least here, there's a big estate sale that's going to be going on at 444 County Road 251 in Matagorda. That, if everybody wants to know where 251 is, as soon as you get into Matagorda, it is the very first road that turns off to the right. The very first road. Right where it drops down to 55 miles an hour, and you'll see County Road 251. You're going to go down about 2 blocks, and you'll see it on the right-hand side. That's April 10th through the 13th. There is a ton of stuff there. I'm going to post pictures up on our website and on the Facebook page coming up. We already got the pictures. Good. And a little video commercial will be running too with everything that's going on. They got big, beautiful fishing boats there, fishing equipment, boats, trailers, accessories, mechanic tools, bench prices, floodlights, fuel tanks, jack stands, sawhorses, outdoor tools, coolers, generators, T-post ladders, kayaks, snap-on tools, tire machines, more. This is a gentleman that's moving out, and everything must go. And they're doing box lots, so you can offer them what you want for a box lot and go from there. They got to get rid of the stuff. Everything's got to go. So, and that's coming up April 10th through the 13th. So get out down there in Matagorda. Check it out.
Yeah.
All right. I'm waiting for Andy Kirkland. We got a weather update for Friday. The chances of rain did go up to 70 and 80%.
That's what I told him. I told him, Jeff. I told him I've got to have some rain.
That's right. So we're going to get on Andy's case. If he doesn't bring it, we're cutting off the Miller Lite supply.
Ooh, that is because I need some rain, man. It is dry now. We got a little bit last night, right?
Little bit. Yeah.
Woke me up about 4:30.
Yeah, it's about right.
Yeah,
it was about 5 o'clock down here. Yeah.
Okay. So here must have been about 4:30 or 4:30 ish.
Yeah.
It woke me up. It didn't wake me up enough to look at the clock, but it did wake me up. And because guess what? I had watered all the plants. I was given instructions last night to water all the plants. And so I watered them. And that's why we got rain.
Right.
So anytime you want it to rain, just tell me and I'll go water the plant.
There you go. Yeah, that's what you got to do. Yeah. Anytime go wash the car.
Wash. So but I was at the barn Sunday and I'm watering trees already just because it's so dadgum dry and trying to keep watermelons alive. And
the good thing about down here, there's a lot of clay down here.
Yeah.
And the clay for the most part is staying moist down here because the grass is still green. Trees are growing okay. The little flowers are coming up, so it's not too dry. But we had 1/10 of an inch of rain down. I think everybody had about 1/10 of an inch, something like that.
Yeah.
Last night. But Andy said he just texted me. He's going to come on at 7:30, and then we'll BS about some stuff, and then we're going to get the weather forecast for coming up this week. We were supposed to get a chance of severe weather last night, but the air was too dry along the coast, so it sort of fizzled out by the time it got here. Up north, around Buffalo and Centerville and stuff like that, my friends up there did report to me that they got an inch to inch and a half size hail up there, but they did have some high winds as well. Gus 55.
Jeff, I watched a couple of videos from KSAT in Kerrville.
Yeah.
And they were hammered. I've never seen it. Well, I say it's been a long time since I've seen videos of hail that strong. It was boy. I know quite a few people in Kerrville. I want to reach out in the morning. I just saw the videos on Facebook. Massive. They had some there at some people's homes, and then there, I guess somebody was in the parking lot of the Lowe's there in Kerrville, and it was just amazing. It just sounded like a battering ram going through there.
Yeah, they got it. They had a pretty good last night. I know
San Antonio. I didn't see pictures. They said San Antonio got quite a bit of hail as well. So
Madisonville beat ice. They got heavy rain. They didn't get no hail, but they got some heavy stuff up there. Yeah. Lately, that line, always that bad line is hanging in that area.
It always saying that, and up to Shreveport and off into Jackson. My son was telling me he was hit by straight line winds several months ago with one of those storms that came through. It was funny. I'm sitting there looking at a picture, and I'm noticing it was right next to his house. It was on 121 and whatever that other road is, and I'm thinking, damn, I know that. I know that picture. And sure enough, it was about a mile from his house. He said he had roof damage. So, lots of storms coming through.
Yeah, a lot of storms. I mean, it's that time of the season now. Between March, April, and May are usually your big popping storms.
Remind me when Andy comes on. I noticed quite a bit of rain in the hill country. I would love to see some rain fall in the Highland Lakes. Let's ask him what he thinks about that.
Yeah, we did see that, and that's where the majority of the rain for this week is supposed to fall in that area.
Yeah, and that's like up in the light pinks, right? I don't know what that is, but it's
it's a lot. It's a lot. It's supposed to get quite a bit. That's 6 to 8 inches of rain total up there, so that's good.
And up there it doesn't run. It's so rocky. You can have flash flooding with that. Yeah, but we need to get water in the lake systems because, of course, our March 1st was the cutoff for rice crops for ag water, and so one more season it's cut off. But if we desperately need, excuse me, to get some reserves back in those lakes.
Yeah, we definitely do. Yep. We got Andy Kirkland. He'll be coming up about 7:30, 7:35, somewhere like.
Well,
he's
last week, Jeff, I was in. You were not feeling very well. I remember that. And I was in Austin, Texas, last Monday night, and we hit the ground really early Tuesday morning. Made it to the Rotunda. Hopefully, you've seen pictures on the Facebook of our Rotunda visit. Then we stepped over into the house. We had a contingent there on the floor. AJ did a tremendous job. We had recognitions there on the House floor. I will tell you that we have a House concurrent resolution in the House and the Senate naming Matagorda County as the birding capital of Texas. And that's progressing quite well. We're hoping that we can get that passed and the governor sign it. But I will tell you, Tuesday was it was crazy, but it was hugely successful. Several of us went over and met with the comptroller, which is now going to be the chancellor of all of A&M systems. Our very own Glenn Hager. Many of you will remember Glenn. He was a state rep, and then he was our state senator for years and years before he ran for comptroller. We met with him just after lunch, and there was a group met with the GLO. The group met with the Film Commission. We had several of them had lunch. I couldn't make it and get to the comptroller's office with the governor's economic development team. We just literally had our contingents in every direction known to man. I know HIF was working the halls very, very diligently. They've got a couple of bills that have some unintended consequences for them. But Senator Huffman came to and then we ended it from 6 to 8 with a really nice, well-attended reception. We had a lot of our prospects, our industrial projects that came. There was a gentleman from the UP, the rail. I think they're on the agenda for city council tomorrow night. Next Monday, we can talk about that a little bit more. They're on the agenda for the city of Bay City tomorrow night at 6. But we had some LNG prospects that were there. We had Constant, the owner of STP, Constellation Energy. My mind just Constellation Energy had a couple of folks there. Senator Huffman was there. AJ, our state representative, was not able to. Of course, it's our fault when you're that late in the year having a reception. He had hearings all night, so he wasn't able to make it. But we were with him all day. I'll tell you, Jeff, man, you learn to appreciate walking in Austin. Because there's parking is so difficult. So you ended up just walking everywhere.
Yep.
A little expensive in Austin, I will tell you. Thank goodness we don't do it, but every 2 years. We had a home run. We passed out cookies on Monday, decorated cookies with Matagorda County Day. We handed out the reception invitation to every office in the House and the Senate and all of the offices there at the Capitol. We had such a great, I can't talk enough about Jessica Russell and Ashley Talasik. Both young ladies did a tremendous job. They were a chair and assistant chair. And the committee was just amazing. Too many to name. We probably had 40 committee members, all had a job, all fulfilling their obligations for Matagorda County, from Matagorda County. A lot of great relationship building, but a home run. A lot of work, a lot of money, a lot of cost, but it'll pay off in the long run. Jeff, one of the things that later on, I'm not prepared tonight to talk about it, but we presented our legislative agenda to everybody that would listen. And so we're pursuing that. I probably want to get Mike Ferdinand on. I want him to tell us a little bit about his meeting with Region 10. I saw an email where he announced success. Region 10 is a part of the state that talks about flooding and preventing flooding in our region. He went, talking about a glutton for punishment. Mike was in Austin Monday and Tuesday, drove home Tuesday night and went back Wednesday. And so Mike is burning the candles at both ends and handling all the prospects calling on us, which is numerous.
What is the biggest thing right now Matagorda County is working on?
You cut out.
Looking for it. Yeah, what's the biggest thing that Matagorda County is looking to do as the county?
So I would say modify the JEDI program, which is the tax abatement process for school districts. If you'll remember, it used to be the 313. We probably had every school district had multiple agreements with projects. I'm talking probably over 100 just in Matagorda, and I don't think I'm exaggerating. And the Senate and the House allowed that to expire, and then they brought it back. It's under the 403 tax code, but they want it called the JEDI program. One of the things we met with Glenn Hager about, the state comptroller, is that there was so much hatred, might be the right word, for 313 when it went away. They rewrote it. I don't think it quite reaches the abatement process that we need in Texas. There's some things that really give us a lot of heartburn over with the JEDI program. Just to give you a couple of examples, there were hundreds every year of 313 applications filed. Since in the last year with the JEDI program, there has been 13 applications for 13. So we've gone from hundreds to 13. Now, there might be some in the Senate say that's exactly what we intended. They were not happy with the school districts being able to abate school taxes, property taxes for projects. But the reason that I tell you that it's important is because it made a level playing field for rural areas that don't have a big, deep pockets. If you go into Harris County, or you go into Fort Bend County, or you go into Brazoria County, their economic development teams just have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to throw towards your project. In the rural areas, particularly Matagorda, we don't have that. Our whole budget with the Matagorda Economic Development Corporation might be a little over $100,000. And that's got to pay salaries. It's got to pay insurance. It's got to pay travel. It just takes care of a lot of things. $5,000 for advertising is all we budget for advertising. We don't have a lot of money. We were using that. We need that JEDI program to make rural Texas attractive. We're running out of water. We're pushing the state to incentivize creating or storing more water. The other thing is power. We're out of power. We need $1 billion or more earmarked for incentives to build new power supplies. We're working with power transmission companies. It's hard to give you one, Jeff, because all of these are so important to our future.
Right.
And then you get into playing defense. And sometimes we end up playing defense a little more than offense. There's a House bill, a Senate Bill 134 that changes the sales tax mechanism for cities. Scotty Jones and the mayor sat through that. Like I said, we literally went in 100 different directions. They sat through that. The other thing is, I noticed today there's a bill been filed to limit municipalities being able to borrow money. Now, here's my question to that. Now, in the city of Bay City, let's just talk local. We elect the mayor. We elect every one of the council members. So why does the state, and if we don't like the way that the mayor and council is operating, i.e. borrowing money, bond, certificate of obligations, if we didn't like that, we can vote them out. But now, why does the state of Texas want to limit the ability for cities to issue bonds? I don't get it. Other than a little bit of an arrogance, I guess, that says the state knows better than the locals.
No.
I didn't elect all, let's be honest, I didn't elect all 150 state reps. I elected one.
One, that's correct.
A.J. Louderback.
Yeah.
31 senators. We voted for one, which was Joan Huffman.
Right.
I vote for every city council member because they're all at large, and I vote for the mayor.
Right.
So why would I give the ability to the state to limit the powers of the city? Now, there was a Senate Bill 1719. I start losing track. That a good friend, Senator Mays Middleton, filed to prohibit municipalities from being able to lobby in Austin. Okay, well, how come everybody else gets to lobby? I'm a registered lobbyist, full disclosure. Mm-hmm. I can go to Austin and lobby legally. Now, I have filed with the Ethics Commission. I file reports with the Ethics. I tell them everything I'm doing. I tell them what I'm going to lobby on. So full disclosure, registered lobbyist. But why would I not want my municipality? Why would I not want my mayor and city manager going to Senate Bill 134 and sitting in on that hearing to learn? So Senator Nichols, East Texas, maybe even close to Madisonville. I don't know how far down he comes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Senator Nichols did an amendment that any full-time employee of a municipality can lobby. And he got that amendment passed. Pissed off Mr. Middleton, Senator Middleton, because he was wanting to really punish, my words, not his, really punish the cities. And I don't know. I have been a proponent of the cities and the counties pulling together and hiring a lobbyist. So Senator Mays Middleton's bill, which is senators helping us a lot with TWIA, him and Chairman Todd Hunter, good friends, really working hard for us. That was just one instance where we disagree. We agree to disagree. Right. So I don't know. So Jeff, there's a lot of defense, probably more defense than offense. But I would say, and Mike, and we can get Mike on here next Monday night. And I did issue an invitation to AJ Louderback. He is busy. He's in hearings all night. You never know where right. They're going to be. Right. So a lot of defense. We've got to have power. We've got to have water. We've got to have a tax abatement policy that equalizes us with other states. and equalizes the rural areas from being able to secure these projects. And then again, we need to be in a defensive mode. TxDOT, we had a representative from Yoakum that went to the meeting with the mayor, Scotty, myself. I can't remember who all was there. Jackson Electric was there working on broadband. Jeff, it's so many things. That's the reason we need a team. That's the reason there's Mike and Jessica. That's the reason Jackson Electric, AEP of Texas, went with us. V was there. Your good friend V. Strauss, yep. She was there. Jackson Electric was there. TxDOT was there. I'm just telling you, there's just industry, STP, Tenaris did a tremendous job. HIF, like I said, they're playing defense with Senate Bill 388 that really limits their ability to use wind and solar power. It adds fees to it, which adds cost to that. A lot of it has to do with unintended consequences. One of the bills that we testified on, particularly with what they call behind the meter power production. So they're wanting to charge companies that are going to not put any power on the grid, not use ERCOT at all, bypass ERCOT, create the power and sell it to an industry, and never hits any wires. Well, they're wanting to put a fee on that. They're wanting to put an ERCOT fee, even though they're not even going to contract with ERCOT. And I don't understand, other than being a revenue source, I don't understand the thought process behind adding cost to power.
Okay, I got a quick question now. Yeah. And this is probably a question a lot of people ask. With everything that you just talked about, everything that's going on up there, and I think some people might have concerns about this, with the current administration in the way that it is, a Trump administration, and making the changes that they're making on different things. Will any of that be affected by the changes that he's making? And I'm talking about, getting money and going for it and doing things.
No, everything I just mentioned is all Texas. Now, when you start dismantling the Department of Education and moving that responsibility over to the TEA, Texas Education Authority.
Yeah.
You remember they took over the Houston ISD.
That's right.
I think they've taken over one other ISD in the state. If I read right,
that's correct.
So that might affect it will affect an agency or two, probably.
Okay.
Certainly the border issues are affecting the state, but that's more agencies. This is more legislative.
Okay.
Bills that have been filed. So,
I know that. And when you try to explain that to somebody that's unsure of that, it's very hard to do. It's like, well, one is related to another, especially like the education thing. Well, being the education now thing is gone, does that mean school vouchers are out? No, it's actually moves it more towards school vouchers than
it really does.
It does.
I will tell you, I have that on the list, Donna. Do you mind if I jump into that for a few minutes?
No, go ahead. No.
Let me tell you. So I've listened. I've paid attention. I sat through one of the hearings on school vouchers out of public ed. That's where that voucher bill's been. Remember, it's passed by the Senate. The House is taking it up now. The voucher bill is going to pass. Now, the voucher bill right now, the Senate bill is different than the House bill. But just mark my words, there is too much political pressure for this not to pass. But I heard something, and I'm kind of throwing my hands up with this. Now, one, let me tell you, I don't have a kid. My youngest kid is 33 years old. So 45, 36, and 33. So what does vouchers mean to me? My kids worry about my grandkids. I do have 8 grandkids. They're all in the public school system. Those that are of age, they're all getting what I consider a great education. But let's just wipe all that out. I guess here's and this dawned on me Sunday. I was watching one of the political shows. And okay, so vouchers are going to pass. I've not been a voucher proponent. Those of you that have watched week after week after week after week know I am not a proponent of vouchers. I think you have a choice of what you do with your kid. The fact that $10,000, $12,000 is going to follow your kid to a private school, and that private school probably is going to be a lot more money. So you're going to probably have to chip in thousands of dollars. I don't think people realize that. I think people listen with simplicity. Oh, I get a choice. Now I can pick any school my child goes to. Well, no. 1, the school's got to have an opening. 2, your kid's got to be accepted. And I assure you, my bet is that if your kid's got a behavioral problem or problems, that school might or might not take you. So you're not just automatically going to wave a wand and get choice. But regardless of all that, let's just say that schools pass. All right, here's my new brainstorm, Jeff. So school vouchers are going to pass. Now, when you look at school scores and when you look at school kids that have proficiency measures, and let's take reading. And across the state of Texas, so kids are rated statewide average less than 40% of our kids read on grade average.
Correct.
That's astonishing. Jeff, you've got a kid in senior. You're a senior. That's astonishing to me. Math is even lower.
Yes.
So when you've got kids that are not meeting the state's proficiency standards, well, then is it time to do something? Now, my daughter, school teacher in Lamar Consolidated, used to teach in Arizona. Arizona does have school vouchers. And she told me, and she taught in the public school, that the public school knew they had to up their game to keep kids in the classroom, to keep that building open. So does competition work? Well, it did in Mesa, Arizona. So I guess what I'm ready to give in and say, if you can assure me, or if there is some assurances out there that these state proficiencies will increase because of this competition, right? Competition's good. I've said that. I've said it on this show. You get 3 coffee shops in town. By God, somebody better start excelling in customer service and quality. I know it happened in hardware. I know that when McCoy's came in, Sutherland's up their game and Alamo closed. So competition is good. I'm willing to give it since it's going to pass anyway, and there's not a damn thing anybody can do. I am going to close this. I'm going to say, okay, it's going to happen, but by God, we better see some improvements, especially if we're adding, especially Jeff, if we're not taking anything away from schools, supposedly, ha, ha, wink, wink, and giving them to these private schools, then by God, everything ought to go up. It ought to go up in the public schools and it ought to go up in the private schools. Now, the other thing I'm going to tell you to go ahead.
Okay, so let me go back to what you were talking about with the reading level and the math levels. And there's 2 things that, and I know some teachers are going to get mad at me or people are going to get mad at me. Okay.
Hey, the facts are the facts, right, Jim?
Facts are the facts. Okay. So if a school is rated by the state, okay. They get more funding. If you have an A school up there, let's say like I don't know, a decent sized school with a great rating. The pass ratio is the graduation ratio is great, and this and that, blah 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 blah. But are they actually looking at the grades? Are they actually real grades that these kids are getting, or are they giving them these grades in order for them to look good, to get them through? I can honestly say, and I'll honestly say this, and my daughter's here, and the reading.
And be careful.
Yeah, I know. Shit. The
Because I
reading
don't think
level.
your doghouse is big enough.
Well, my doghouse is getting really small, so I got less dogs and more me in it. That's all I know.
I hear you.
When we went to school, we had to take tests over and over for reading. We had to read out loud. We had to do the public. I was one of those that had to do the public reading in front of a group of kids and stuff like that. A lot of that has dropped out. They don't do that anymore.
Okay.
A lot of the reading stuff now, you go online and someone's reading it to you.
Oh crap.
It's not, you don't have to sit there, even in school, on their computers and their iPads and everything else that they got. It makes it so much easier for a teacher to go, Johnny, okay, what did that say? Well, it said this, this, and this. Okay, that's very good. Betty, what did it say over there? Well, let me read it like this. It was a sunny day, this and that. Okay, now try to say a little faster. It was a sunny day. You're making them say the same thing over again. Okay, well, that's better. You just went from a C to an A.
Oh.
From how you read it. It's amazing to me that some kids are graduating, and when you ask them a question about something they just graduated from, they have no clue or no idea.
I say it's because they're taught to the test.
Correct.
You're supposed to memorize this stuff, and when the test comes, you memorize it, and then it's gone.
Then it's gone, and that don't work. I'm sorry, that doesn't work.
It doesn't teach you critical thinking, does
right.
it?
So what are they going to do? Hold the kids back? If they hold the kids back, that says, hey, well, that kid didn't graduate, so our school rating is going to go down. For every kid we hold back, it's good. Well, how comes they didn't learn during the regular season of the year? Now they have to go to summer school. So if you look now, you look at what summer school used to be for kids. I was always afraid. I don't want to go to summer school. Oh no, I don't want to go to summer school. I got plenty of crap to do. I don't want to go to summer school. We got our nose in the books, and we started reading and got better at reading. I was terrible at reading, and I even had a tutor for reading and math. Now, because of doing radio and having to read script and things like that, that taught me a lot better. And the same thing with math. I can do something in my head. Back in the day, I couldn't do it in my head. Like, what's 11 plus 38? And I'm like, oh God, geez. Oh my God. They simplified it. There's the other thing in schools I see anymore is this the dumb way of, we used to learn 11 plus 11 was 22.
Yeah.
Now it's 11 plus 11. Now let me tell you how you add this up. You take 5 and you put 6 here.
Yeah.
And you do 10. It just makes it complicated. It's simplified. So my stating is on this, and I know some people know that I'm right about this, is that if the school passes kids, just put them through, get through, they're going to get better funding.
Right.
Than they are for kids that are going to be held back. I mean, we already got a kid here that's already graduated this year, and learning what's up, but they push it through. And I actually texted the teacher, and the teacher as well. I'm not going to say her name. I thanked her for helping him graduate. And I said, what else should I do to help him learn? And I never got answered back, ever. Never got answered back. And it sort of irritated me. It ticked me off a little bit. Like, thank you for doing what you did, and this person knows who I am too.
Yeah.
but didn't do it. So to me, I don't care.
Well,
Whether you put them in a private school or you put them in, we got some good damn schools down this way. With the
you're talking about the ISDs. Yeah.
Our ISDs are really good.
Well, and I think they are in rural Texas. Let me say that. I get the problems in Houston and Dallas and San Antonio. I do get that.
The other thing too, real quick, you can't discipline. You can't discipline anymore. You can't discipline. Hell, we used to be scared to death. We're opening up our mouth and saying, now they're talking to the teacher like, like the teachers, the cops.
Like the playground, like the kids in the playground.
Yeah. And it's,
I know.
How do you straighten that out? Now they go,
I know how.
Yeah, me too. I do too.
I wouldn't last in the school district because they'd be gone. Now, I will tell you, A.J. Louderback's got a bill trying to bring, he's on education. He is trying to bring a bill for discipline, but I think it's gone too far. I think part of the problem, I had a superintendent, this is years ago, but it still rings true. I'll tell you 2 quick stories. I had a superintendent that told me, he said he can't make a decision based on what's best for the kids because he's getting sued by both sides. And he has to make a decision on which group of lawyers he thinks he can beat. And that's ridiculous. I had a superintendent right here in Bay City ISD, and it's not the current superintendent. I'm not going to name a name. And he called the parents. So he had a kid that had a really bad problem. I mean, this kid was acting up. He was bad. Done everything they knew to do to him. Had him in his office, picked the phone up, called his parents. And Jeff, if I'm lying, I'm dying. He said, "Sir, ma'am, I don't know what to do with your kid. Your kid's being rude and ugly and misbehaving, and he's disrupting the class. And I need you to do this." And do you know what the parents said?
Go ahead.
What do you expect me to do?
Yeah.
I can't control him either. Yeah. Now, you tell me where we are with public, with discipline in schools, when the teacher, the counselor, the principal, probably the assistant principal, superintendent, and the parents.
Yep.
Here's what I tell them: you're out the door.
Yep.
Should be. The parents, you're out the door.
Yep.
You're so goddamn smart.
Yep.
You're on your own.
Yeah.
And go find a homeless shelter somewhere, or go run down under the 35 bridge.
Yeah. Teachers shouldn't have to be babysitters. They shouldn't have to work. That's why you got counselors and that now. They shouldn't have to work on attitudes and things like that. When you go to school, you have the right attitude. You learn, you leave. You learn, you leave. You go to school, you learn.
I will admit, I was less scared of the school principal than I was the football coach.
Oh, yeah. Well, let me tell you this.
When the teacher said, "I'm sending you to the principal," I thought, thank God.
Yeah, well, my problem was the principal at my high school was my uncle.
Oh,
so I could not. Dr. Jack McHugh. You can look it up. He retired. He retired the year that I graduated school. And then Ray Erb came in there. He was the assistant principal at the time.
You probably made him retire.
I made him retire. But I couldn't do, I shouldn't say that. I've done, I think I got away with more than most of the kids did, but we weren't,
you weren't disrupting the classroom.
No, we weren't disrupting the classroom.
I think that's the problem today.
We had a teacher one time, a football coach in junior high school, that took a kid, jammed him in the locker, and closed the locker on the kid and said, "You talk to me like that again, that's where you're going." And the parents came in, sued the teacher. He lost his job. And I was like, why would he lose his job? That kid deserved to get knocked out. I don't understand.
Right.
But
I don't know too. Where did you and I learn, and Andy, you learned this? You learned respect.
Yeah.
Respect of the teachers, respect of your elderly.
Yep.
Where did we learn that? I
Right.
learned it from parents and grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
Where and why aren't teachers and why aren't they respected anymore?
I got an answer for that as well. So if you go back to the late 1980s, if you remember, there was a case where a young lady was staying with her grandparents, and she didn't want to be with her parents, and because she didn't want to go to school anymore. She didn't want to go to school anymore. The grandparents said, "Well, she doesn't want to go to school. She don't have to go to school." And the parents said, "This is our child. This is our child. She must go to school." So the judge, instead of saying, "Hey, you have to go to school, regardless of what your grandparents say," this is the thing. He went and said, "Well, being that she's staying with the grandparents, and they are grandparents, it's up to the grandparents what to decide for what her to do." That was the first case that I saw. It was a young girl. She was 13 or 14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I will look for that case. I promise you, I will look for that case and bring it up. And the video.
Well, and I want to know what she's doing today.
Yeah. Well, Jeff, I'll tell you.
She's probably a Democratic liberal in Austin somewhere.
I'll tell you a story, and this is a true story, and most of mine aren't, but this one, I was like 16 or 17 years old, and my mother was a school teacher, and I went up to her class, and she was teaching fourth grade, and she taught first or second, but she ours. And I went in there, and the kids were acting bad. Now, this was early morning, trying to switch keys and do that. And I looked around, and I said, "Is this Miss Kirkland's class?" "Yeah." I said, "Well, I've never seen any of her classes act this bad." And they were like, "What?" I said, "Oh, yeah. She's got a gun in her desk. She shoots 2 or 3 students a year." You just, I don't know what y'all are doing. And I didn't even think about it. I walked off, went to the principal's office, found out where mom was. All year long.
Yep.
She sat there and said, "Man, this is going good." So the last day of school, this kid comes up. Goes, "Miss Kirkland, can I seize it? Can I seize your gun?"
Andy, you're going in and out a little bit.
Yeah, we missed it, Andy.
Missed it.
We missed the punchline.
Just froze up, Andy.
Froze. You're frozen.
Frozen.
What happened? You got a cold front you didn't tell us about? You're still frozen.
Still freezing. You're still freezing.
You might have to come back on.
Your boy really mad. I said, "But let me ask you something. How'd that class be?"
He's still going. He didn't hear us.
Oh.
Andy.
Kill us all with that bad story?
Andy,
you're backing up. You're messing up.
Somebody talk. I'm not hearing anything.
I know you're not here.
We are talking. We are talking.
Jeff,
yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to say this on vouchers, and then we can get
that's
over
my
to
story.
Go ahead.
Is he back?
No, Andy, you back yet?
Well, I'm going to say this. There is a reason a billionaire gave Abbott $12 million to get vouchers passed. I'm going to say this. I think this school voucher program is a way for somebody or somebodies to get rich. And trust me, there is a lot of money in schools.
Was it Elon Musk?
It was not. I forget his name, but there is a lot of money, and there is only one reason in my 34 years of lobbying. There is only one reason that people donate large sums of money to politicians, and that's to get what they want passed so they can make large sums of money.
Right.
Now, if test scores raise, okay, I'm great. But there is a lot of money in testing. There's a lot of money in buildings. There's a lot of money in every aspect of education. And I think there are people trying to get a hold of that money. And that's all I'm going to say it. Now, Andy, tell me I can get some rain Friday night. He's still not with us, is he?
Yeah, he's still, I don't know. It's that wonderful internet that he has up there. I forget what he has.
Well, that's because he's out in the hill country where it like hailstormed last time.
Yeah.
Well,
Andy,
I'll just say it is awful dry. And I keep watching the drought monitor coming over and over and over, a little bit closer to us. So,
well, being that Andy can't do it, I'll do it.
Okay, good.
I'll do it for us. Okay. So towards the end of the week, we have a chance of showers throughout the week. A slight chance of showers throughout the week, but we just got the latest update from the National Weather Service. So the chances of rain starting on Wednesday night, believe it or not.
Really?
So yeah,
That's
starting
new.
on Wednesday night. So I'm going to give you an idea.
For us?
Yes, for us.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So tonight we're looking at patchy fog after 1 a.m. Otherwise partly cloudy, low around 63. The temperatures are going to stay pretty warm throughout the times. Calm in the evening.
It's getting spring. It's summer. Just bring it on.
Yeah, it's spring, summertime. We don't really get a spring here. We get
right.
We get a spring, summer.
Yeah, we do for 3 days.
Yeah, that's about it. So areas of Tuesday, areas of fog before 11 a.m. Otherwise partly sunny. Gradually coming sunny. High of 86. Calm winds in the afternoon. Tuesday night, patchy fog after midnight. Wednesday, partly sunny. High near 82. Wednesday night is when we start with the chances of showers. So 20%.
What chance?
20% on Wednesday night. Okay,
20.
not a lot there. No, mostly cloudy with a low around 64. On Thursday, showers and thunder showers likely, mainly after 1 p.m. Cloudy with a high near 78. Chance of precipitation is at 60%.
Okay, now we're talking.
Yeah, Thursday night, showers and thunder showers likely, cloudy, low around 65. Chance of precipitation 70% on Thursday night.
Okay.
On Friday, showers and thunder showers, high near 76. Chance of precipitation 80% on Friday. And then Friday night, 40% chance of showers and thunder showers before 1 a.m. Mostly cloudy, low around 65. So from Wednesday night to Friday night, the showers are in there, but your biggest chance of showers is Thursday night into Friday with rain. Now, talking rain totals, they were talking about them a little bit earlier. I don't have them up here, but Saturday, the weekend looks phenomenal. Saturday, partly sunny, high near 82. Saturday night, partly cloudy, low around 68. Sunday, mostly sunny, high near 83. Sunday night, 20% chance of thunder showers, low around 60. And then back Monday, mostly sunny, high near 81. So the weekend looks great. But like I say, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday and Friday night. So we could be singing karaoke on the deck in a thunderstorm. So that'll be
there.
Great.
You go. That's Thursday night, right?
Yeah, that is.
Well, and the reason I bring it up, and there's been a lot of questions and is Andy back on? Because I want to ask him this. There's been a lot of questions about, as dry as we are, why we haven't gone into a burn ban notice.
Andy, can you hear us yet? Andy? Yeah, I lost.
Can you hear me?
Can hear us?
Me? Yes, sir.
You're breaking up.
I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, but you're breaking
That's hard
up.
To do.
Yeah. I know.
Andy, one of the things that's being talked about here locally is, as dry as we are.
Both of you, rain is coming.
Okay.
All right.
But one of the questions that we've got really is that, as dry as we are with the high winds, we've gone through several wet red flag warning days, high winds, low humidity, high fire risk. What a lot of people don't understand is you just arbitrarily can say, okay, I'm going to institute a burn ban. Now, the burn ban has a lot to do with percent moisture, not we have it. So if you're on, describe a little bit about the process where you institute a burn ban.
Wharton County made passed a resolution years ago when the KBDI, the Keach Byron Drought Index, exceeds
the
500.
Index. Yes,
a burn ban automatically goes into effect for Wharton County. Oh, now
I think that's us as well.
Jeff, you want me on the phone or?
Yeah,
that's not a state law.
But that's not that.
All right.
Take him on.
I copied resolution from Travis County where Wharton County passed that.
All right. Take Andy.
Yes, sir.
Hey, take the thing off of the deal there.
Which one do I need to get away from?
Take the video off.
Take the video off.
All right.
Gone.
All right. There we go. Now we got you. So Mitch was asking about, I guess, the AQI, the index. Okay.
The index.
Yeah, the index. So what determines, like right now, being that we haven't had so much rain, what determines us to get into a drought or a burn ban?
Commissioner's Court. The Commissioner's Court decides when the burn ban will come into effect.
Based on this index, right?
Years ago, because y'all are like us. Matagorda, Wharton County, they're both big, over 1,000 square miles that are sitting there. I mean, yeah, 1,100, 1,200, something like that square miles.
Yes.
That we're sitting there looking at. So the commissioners were getting griped at all the time because it may be wet over by Pleasure, but Palacios was dry.
Right.
And so what we did was we said, okay, when the Keats Byram Drought Index, which is an average for the county, exceeded 500 on a Monday, the following Thursday, a burn ban would go into effect. That would give time to get the word out through newspaper, radio, everybody else. It went county-wide. We weren't going to try to make it to where you were going to drive fire departments and police departments and everybody else crazy chasing burn bans. No, make it simple. Make it easy.
Right.
And that has worked for us very, very well. Right now, when I looked at the other day, and I think I sent you this, but there's not a lot of burn bans in effect in Southeast Texas. Colorado County is the only county that's close to us that has a burn ban in effect.
Right.
But it's really tough. We're fixing to get 1 inch to 2 inches of rain by Saturday here.
Okay.
You get a 1 inch rain, that knocks the Keats Byram Drought Index down by over 100 points.
Sure.
So, we were trying to make it easier on one. All we have here in Wharton County is volunteer fire departments.
That's all we have.
Volunteer fire departments when you're sitting there having to go out for grass fires all the time.
Right.
And you can't teach people not to be stupid.
Well, and that's a great answer, Andy, because the thought out there is that you can just put the burn ban on and off at a whim, and whenever you feel like the wind starts picking up, you put the burn ban on. And when we pass similar, I think ours is 500 as well. And you're right, it's county-wide, and there's many times down in Sargent's getting rain, and Palacios isn't. And so the commissioner in Palacios, or the commissioner in Sargent's, getting his butt kicked because, hey, it's green, everything's fine. And you're right, we're a huge county. So, but that's what people don't understand. It's a legal definition when the burn ban goes on. It's a legal definition when the burn ban comes off. and we don't do it by happenstance because we think there might be a fire. I would say Midfield probably responded to more fires than anybody. Although I don't really, I hear a lot.
They do a great job at Midfield without a doubt. But one of the things that you need to do, and you have to do this to where the sheriff's department gets involved. It's against the law, the state law. TCEQ requirements say if the winds are going to be over 20 knots, 22 miles an hour, it's illegal to burn in the state of Texas.
Yeah.
Enforce that.
Yeah.
Go out and write tickets.
I don't think, Andy, I don't think we did have that 300 acres burned up in Midfield, but that was an electrical issue. I don't think we've had, I could be corrected, but I don't think we've had a fire caused by an individual that I'm aware of. Now, I think we did have some on the side of the road. Maybe it was a cigarette, or maybe driving a vehicle over some dry grass. Now, I will tell you, the other day I was in Jackson County at the barn, and I must have seen 5 pretty large fires. So I can't talk for Jackson County, but I think we were pretty smart. You know, we were issuing press releases 2-3 times a day telling people, hey, be careful.
When we were having all that wind and the humidity, I've never seen humidity at 11% for 2 or 3 days. That was crazy numbers that we were getting here.
And with high wind.
You have that wind, come on, people, just use some common sense. You know, this is an invitation for a wildfire to get out of control.
But, you know, Andy, I think it means a lot when the fire departments say that. I mean, I can say it as the PIO, you know, and the emergency management person can say it, but well, I think it really means something. I appreciated when my mind just Jeff Midfield Vic Collins, you know, and he'll be proactive and post, you know, hey, don't do it. I wish maybe more fire departments did that. But anyway, that may be something that we talk about. We're going to have a hurricane seminar coming up here in May, and I may try to pull off where we got just a few minutes to talk about fire dangers and wind.
Did
and
you get a seminar in Matagorda County?
Hurricane, yes, May the 10th.
The hurricane seminar?
Yeah.
Good. Let me know the date. I'd love to come down.
I think it's May the 10th.
Okay. I'll check and see, but it's one thing when you put it on, and now especially with Facebook and all the things, and you tell people, look, we've got volunteer fire departments. When you have these grass fires, you're taking people away from work. You're really, the employers are doing a great job in almost all the cases of letting their guys and girls take off and go answer these fires. But it's tough when you're answering all these fires because you've got people that are doing dumb things. And, you know, just show some respect for the people that are having to respond for these fires that are going to have to come out there. That's what you've got to try to teach is, you know, show a little bit of common sense.
I think what I mean, you look at that San Jacinto County fire where they gave the Forest Commission gave that guy permission to do a controlled burn, and it got away from him.
Yeah, it got away.
How stupid was that? I don't know what the hell that was about. I really don't. I'm sitting there looking at that, and I thought, wow, you know, I don't know what they were thinking. Those people obviously have never been on a fire scene.
Well, the wind was way too heavy, like you said. Winds get up. So anyway, but. You know, they said they got permission. I think there's going to be an investigation. Somebody's probably going to get fired.
They should be, because, and you're right, and they do have certified burn people that work, but none of them that I know of would ever let you have a fire with 20-mile-an-hour winds, because you don't know where those embers are going.
Especially in that national forest. That was the national forest.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm with you all. Yeah, it's common sense. You know, Jeff, here we talked about it, and respect again. That word keeps coming up.
Yeah, we're losing it. Common sense and respect. Those are the two biggest things that we're losing in this country, is common sense and respect. You know, if it ain't written down and pasted on their forehead, they're gonna do it.
And yeah.
You know, and that's just the way that it ain't, it ain't put on blinders and this and that. I'm going to do a special show one night, and I'm going to bring on a couple different firefighters on from Matagorda County, and I'll let them explain, the dangers.
That's a good idea.
That way it publicly goes on. I'll put it on Facebook, and people can watch it and learn a little bit about why it is so dangerous to burn, even 15-mile-an-hour wind, even when the grass is dry, still wind is wind, and it's gonna move a fire. I can tell you this, over there on what is it, chicken what is that,
chicken ranch? I know where that.
No, the chicken, it's called
Chickapin.
No, it's called Chicken something Road over there, over in Blessing.
I don't know.
Yeah, chicken. I know someone will text it up or put it up, whatever. But anyway, Lydia and I were involved in that fire a few years ago when we were on Midfield, and that fire moved so fast it almost got to us. The flames were coming into the truck. We were 25, 30 feet away from it, and in the grass truck. Lydia was on the front of the grass truck, and I couldn't see Lydia. Those flames came by so fast; those flames went right over the top of Lydia on the front of the truck. And they blew in the side of the door. We took off of there because that thing was moving 10 miles an hour over across the field that fast. Or faster. And that was actually set by somebody burning some stuff outside. And that wind kicked up and just started that whole field on fire. And I forget how many acres it was. It was like it was close to 30, 40 acres that burned over there at that time. And
what people don't ever realize, Jeff, and y'all do, because you've worked with these volunteer firefighters before.
Yes.
They're sitting there, and they may be sitting down to eat with their family, and tone goes off, and they're gone.
Yeah,
right.
They're dedicated.
Yeah, they are.
And they're ruining their day. They're ruining their evening, and they might be out there for 10 hours.
Yeah,
sure. They're going, and they take off. The dedication that they show, and people need to realize what they're asking of their firefighters to go out and do. And I mean, it's just crazy.
And you can understand this too. When the firefighters come on, or like Vic comes on, or Robbie Henske puts stuff up there. I know that the people put stuff up there. All they want to do is argue and fight with them, and it's almost at the point where, why am I even putting out fires for these people? And that's the way.
Jeff, that's a shame.
It is, and it happens. It happens a lot.
It happens,
and it happens a lot to the police department doing their job and putting criminals away. And they're going, why did they get rid of that guy? He was a good guy, and he didn't do that. Oh my God, I was so tired of hearing it. But anyway.
Well, and Jeff, I will tell you, I went to the coffee with the commissioner the other morning in Sargent, and they are moving. They've got enough signatures now. They're about to make their petition for their emergency service district.
Yep.
They're about to present. About to present that to commissioner's court.
Right
now, it's limited to the Sargent, greater Sargent area, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
But they're moving forward. They're not waiting on anybody else, so they're going to go alone with it.
Yeah, and the petition's being signed also for out there at for Blessing.
Or they are. Okay. We probably need to get some publicity out about that.
Yeah, they are working on it. I believe Vic said that they have enough signatures, and there's still more people signing it.
I wonder if that brings up this, and then I need to go. If we could run that in parallel, that way, county-wide, we could educate everybody.
Yes, absolutely. I agree.
It's definitely an education thing. And it's not just an education thing for the population. It's also an education for the fire departments, because when you get these ESDs, and they're needed, believe me, you need to have those, but they need to go in with a plan. You just can't go in and say, hey, we need this money. Go in and say, here's what we need this money for, and be specific, be smart. Yep. Write this down.
Yep.
Do it that way. You will be able to get these things passed if you go in, and the public wants to be protected. The volunteers want to go out and try to protect them, but everybody needs to get on the same page and say, okay, here's what we need to do.
Yep. Oh, and I agree. We a few years back when Nate was judge, myself and him and the commissioners and the firefighters and stuff, we did have a meeting over in Van Vleck. Someone came down from Bryan College Station to tell us how the ESDs actually work and how to get them to work and how much they would cost each person. So I think we need to have another one of those again. And I know the guy to talk to bring it down for it. And like
the interesting thing with the sergeant one, it's going to be a little different. And Andy, you may know about this, but they're actually going to call to have an ambulance. They're actually wanting to fund and operate an ambulance.
Yeah.
Out of that station. So I don't know what the cost of that is, but it just appears to me like it's got to be astronomical.
But yeah, the ESD will cover that.
But it isn't. But it isn't. It isn't.
If they show the reason that they want this and what it's going to cost,
right,
then let the public decide.
That's right.
Well, it's an older,
the public wants to help the emergency people, the emergency response people, but don't just go in and say, "Hey, you're giving me the opportunity or give you a 2-cent tax." What are you going to do with that money? Show us what you're going to do with the money, and we'll vote for it.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Well, and their population is fairly older. I think it matches Matagorda, the Matagorda area as well, but they are significantly a retirement community, and they really feel like they need an ambulance. I got the impression that this will pass.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I really do.
Yeah, they were working, talking about having an ambulance available in the Blessing area, which in Blessing would cover TPO, Markham, Midfield, closer.
So it's included in this one as well, Jeff?
Yeah, they're talking about it.
Okay.
Well. Yeah, and Midfield used to have an ambulance. As a matter of fact, when the hurricane was, that's where I stayed. I stayed in that ambulance. And which is now or was the dog grooming. DJ and his wife bought the dog grooming thing. That was that ambulance. So I stayed in that ambulance. But yeah, one time Midfield had its own ambulance. I think Markham did too. But Midfield had its own ambulance out there, which and it does help. It really does. And by the way, it's 8 to 10 cents for that for the ESD. It's an 8 to 10 cents tax. That's what cost was what we were told back then. So I think it's the same, but we'll look into it more. All right, guys, we got to go. Mitch, thank you very much. Andy, thank you, sir.
Appreciate you guys.
Mitch, I need to get with you here this week. I did talk to the judge and all the stuff with the junior college that you were talking about last week. Let's get together and talk.
I actually had your judge. I told you that he's actually been working his tail off. So he's a good guy, good friend of ours.
I told him that you were sitting there throwing rose petals out in front of him for all the good stuff he was talking about. So.
Well, I had lunch with him Wednesday, so that must be why he was. I got you. Did you talk on Wednesday? I
was lucky. I've got one of the best judges around. It's like him and Nate and those type folks were great to work with.
They certainly are.
Hey, and by the way, just to let you know, Andy, Mitch said if the rain does not come on Friday, we will find you.
Wait.
I'll come pee in his yard.
You'll pee in your yard. There you go.
I gotta go, guys. This is
all right.
tough.
We'll see y'all later. On behalf of myself, Jeff Michaels, and Mitch Staines, and Andy Kirkland, we'll see you all next week right here on Inside Texas.